guys, how is it going? This is Yohan again and welcome. In today's video, we're going to sew this super adorable bag. This bag is convertible, so you can use this as a shoulder bag or you can use it as a crossbody bag, and it's gonna have that fold over look. The dimension of this bag is about 11 inches by 10 inches when it's worn as a fold over, and when you wear it as a shoulder bag, it's about 11 inches by 14 inches. In this tutorial, I'll show you step by step how to make this bag from scratch, from piecing the patchwork up to assembling the bag. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. The first thing that we're gonna do for this project is to prepare 3 strips of jelly rolls, or you may also cut 3 42 by 2.5 inches strips of fabrics. You will need 2 prints and 1 solid for this. Piece them just like so. You want to keep the solid piece at the bottom. Then we're gonna sew them together with 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Set the seam by giving it a quick press. You're gonna need to cut 4 squares out of this piece. Let's straighten up this edge first here. So just trim an inch away. And then you want to measure 6.5 inches from there, and then you want to cut 3 more squares out of this. Then cut a 12.5 inches rectangle out of this remaining piece. This is going to be for the back piece. The next step is to prepare the accent fabric. So I'm going to use a piece of fat quarter here. You're going to need to cut 2 12.5 by 3 inches strips for the front piece, and then you're gonna need to cut 12.5 by 11.5 inches. That's gonna be for the back. We are going to start piecing these jelly roll squares together, starting off by placing the square where the solid is at the bottom, and then for the second square you want to have the solid to be on the right side. For the third one you want to have the solid to be on the left side. And then for the last piece here, you want to have the solid to be facing up, just like so. And you're going to end up with something like this. Then you want to add both of your accent fabric strips. Place them one at the bottom and one at the top, just like so. Then we're going to start sewing this. I'm going to start with these 2 squares first. Sew this with 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Once the front piece is ready, we're gonna move on and work on the back piece. Take the rectangle piece that you cut from the accent fabric early on. Then you wanna take that remaining jelly roll piece, place it at the bottom here, and then we're gonna sew this together with 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Alright, now that we've got our front and back exterior pieces ready to go, we're going to go ahead and prepare the interfacing. We're going to double interface our back piece here. So I've got here the fusible woven interfacing. Obviously you'll need to cut them exactly the same as your outer back pieces. And we're gonna also use the Fusible Fleece interfacing. With this Fusible Fleece though, you need to cut them 1/2 inch shorter. This is just to reduce the bulk when top stitching the finished bag. We're gonna start interfacing the woven interfacing to the fabric first. Lay your interfacing glue side up and then take your fabric and place it on top of it, wrong side down, and smooth that out a little bit. And then you wanna press it with iron on high setting with the steam. You wanna start from the middle here and then make your way to the sides, just like so. Once you've done that, take your Fusible Fleece, then go ahead and fuse that to this fabric just the same way we did before. So once you've got your front and back pieces ready to go, so the next step will be to prepare the lining for this bag. I forgot to mention that you also have the option to either quilt this or to just leave it the way it is. It doesn't matter. I decided to quilt mine simply because I like quilting. So I quilted these pieces with my walking foot with simple diamond shaped design. So I don't know if you can see that clearly here, but this is totally optional. You can simply skip this step if you don't fancy quilting at all. So this is the fabric that I'm going to use for my lining. It's a floral print quilt weight fabric. You're gonna need about a yard of fabric for this. Then you're gonna need to cut 2 pieces out of them. Obviously it's gonna be the same size as your exterior back pieces. So what I like to do is simply use one of the exterior piece and then use that as the template to cut my lining pieces. So once you've got your lining pieces cut, you will also need to cut your pocket pieces. So these are my zipper pocket pieces, and this one here will be the slip pocket. Take your slip pocket piece and fold this in half, and then you're gonna sew 1/2 inch of seam allowance on the top. Once you've done that, turn this piece inside out. You can give it a quick press if you wish. Then you want to top stitch over there. Then you want to find a half point here and then draw a straight line using disappearing fabric marker. Then you want to place that on the lining piece 6 inches away from the top. Pin this in place and then you want to sew that center line and then the bottom right there. Alright, so our slip pockets is done. Don't worry about the side here. It's gonna get enclosed anyway with the side seam. So we're gonna move on and do our zipper pocket. Prepare your pocket pieces and your zipper. The zipper should be at least 7 inches long. Draw a 1/2 inch by 7 inches rectangular shape on the wrong side of your pocket piece. You want to make sure that it is centered and then it's about 1.5 inches away from the top. Then draw a horizontal line right on the center of that rectangle. Then you want to draw diagonal lines on the corner here. It's about 3/8 of an inch, and then you want to do the same on the other side. Then you want to place this on the center of your lining piece 5 inches away from the top. Place a couple of pins to keep this in place. Then you're gonna sew all around only on the outer lines here. Alright, once you've done sewing, you're gonna cut the center line right here and the corner diagonal lines as well. So I'm gonna use my seam ripper first just to rip a little bit, and then I'm gonna take my scissor and start cutting. Wanna be careful once you get to the corner not to cut through the stitches. And then I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and finger press it a little bit. Then you want to go ahead and iron this. Once you've done that, turn this pocket piece towards the wrong side, smooth everything out, and then this is how the right side gonna look like. Now prepare your zipper. Obviously my zipper piece is quite long here, but it's okay, it's better to be longer than shorter. So I'm gonna be using this washable wonder tape. This is basically a double-sided tape that you can sew over, and we're gonna use this tape to hold the zipper. So I'm gonna cut this about 7 inches, and I want to place it just on the edge of the zipper. right on the center where the zipper is going to be attached. And I want to cut another one and place it the same way. And then I'm going to peel the top layer off. There you go. And do the same with the other one as well. Now I'm gonna unzip my zipper a little bit to where my zipper pull will start. And then I want to place my lining piece right on top of the zipper. Just like so. And then I'm just gonna stick it in place. Remember, there was a double-sided tape underneath, so this is not gonna shift or move, and then we are ready to sew this together. So you want to sew along the edge here. I like to keep my walking foot, however I move my needle all the way to the left and then start sewing. I'm actually using the edge of my walking foot here as the gauge to keep my stitching line even. Alright, so here is my zipper already attached. Now I'm gonna trim this extra zipper off. Next, take the second pocket piece, place it right side down, and then sew this all around. Next step is to attach the magnetic snap closure to our lining. Here is the female part, and this is going to be attached to the back side. And here is the male part, and this is going to be attached to the front side. Alright, so with the lining piece wrong side up, you're going to mark 2 inches down from the top and right on the center of your lining. And then you want to cut a little bit of woven interfacing here. I'm using 2 of those. They're about 1.5 inches squares roughly. Then you want to go ahead and fuse them on the fabric. So I've done fusing my interfacing here, so I'm just going to redo the mark here because it's kind of fading. Then you want to take one of the washer here and place that so the hole on the center will sit right on top of the mark right there. Then you want to go ahead and trace 2 lines from those side holes there. Then use a seam ripper to cut through those 2 side lines, but just be careful that you don't go too much. Then turn this to the right side and then take your magnetic snap and place the 2 prongs inside the holes that we just made. Then take the washer and place it on there. Then I'm going to use my thumbs here to push the prongs towards the sides. You may also use pliers if you don't want to hurt your thumbs. And that's it. You've attached your magnetic snap. Now you want to go ahead and do the same with the other one. Alright, so both magnetic snaps are already attached. Now it's time to work on the straps. We're gonna start by working on the shoulder straps here. So I've already cut 2 pieces of 4 by 10 inches strips. Cut also 2 pieces of woven interfacing, but only 2 inches wide, and then you want to fuse that right on the center, just like so. Then take your strap piece on the ironing board. We're gonna first fold this in half and then iron that. Then open that fold, and then you want to fold the edges here towards the center fold, just like so, and then iron that again. Then fold that again in half. Basically we are making a 1 inch strip out of this. Sew this all around with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Once the shoulder straps are sewn, we're going to attach this to the back. Measure in 3.5 inches point from both sides. Then you want to place the strap here, right where you put the marks, just like so. Then you want to pin it in place. Then you want to go ahead and baste this with 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Now we're gonna prepare our hardware. So for this project, you're gonna need two 1-inch D-rings, 1 inch of adjuster, and two 1-inch lobster clasps. And obviously you will need to have them all in the same color. To make the adjustable strap, you will need to cut a 4-inch by 60 inches strip of fabric. However, most of the quilt weight fabric comes from the bolt 42 inches wide only. You will need to join two strips of fabric together. So I've got mine here. This one is 42 inches long and this one is 20 inches long, and I'm going to join them together. To join the fabric strips together, you want to cross them right side together, just like so. Alright, leaving about 1/4 inch of tail on both sides here. Then you want to take a ruler and draw a diagonal line from that angle over there. Pin it in place, and then you want to sew right on that line. Once you've done that, you want to take a scissor and then just trim off this excess fabric. And that's it. Now you've got your strips joined together. You may go ahead and press this seam open. Now you're going to prepare the interfacing for this strap. So just the same way as we did the shoulder strap, you will need to cut your interfacing 2 inches wide by 59 inches long. I will explain to you why we cut the interfacing an inch shorter later. And as you can see here, I cut several pieces, so you don't have to cut all the way 60 inches because mine only comes 20 inches from the bolt. Alright, so you want to place your interfacing on the center here. Also, you want to place it 1/2 inch away from the edge, just like so. Now go ahead and press that with an iron all the way. Now fold this edge just like so, and then you want to iron that as well. Then you want to do the same with the other end as well. Then we're gonna do the rest of the steps exactly the same way we did the shoulder strap. Alright, so now the strap is already sewn and ready. We are going to attach this with the lobster clasp and insert the adjuster. Now hold your adjuster right side up. Then you want to take one end of your strap and feed that through the wrong side. Pull that to the right side and then back to the wrong side. You want to pull the strap just a little bit until you get about 1.5 inches of clearance here. So this is how it's gonna look like. Then you want to sew 2 straight lines on the edge here. You want to sew this back and forth about 3 to 4 times to add extra reinforcement for this strap to make sure that everything will be sturdy. I'm really sorry if my hand is kind of getting in the way here. So this is how it looks like when it has been sewn. Now with the same position, I want to set this aside, keeping the adjuster right side up and the stitch ends up as well. Now take the other end of the strap, but you want to make sure that there is no twist. And then fit that through one of your lobster clasps. Pull the strap, and then you want to go ahead and take your adjuster, still in the same position, and then you want to fit this from the wrong side towards the right side and then back to the wrong side. And then you want to pull the strap. And then you want to take the other lobster clasp and feed that through, just like so. You want to have about 1.5 inches clearance right there, and then you want to go ahead and stitch 2 straight lines to secure it in place. And that's it, the adjustable strap is now ready to go. To create the strap anchor, you're gonna do the same thing as you did the adjustable strap and the shoulder strap. However, you do not need any interfacing for this. Once you've got the anchor strap sewn, you wanna go ahead and cut this in half. Prepare your front exterior piece with your strap anchors and the D-rings as well. Measure down 5 inches from the top. Take one of the strap anchor, insert the D-ring, and then you want to place it on there. Use a pin or a sewing clip to keep it in place. Do the same with the other side, and then you're gonna go ahead and sew this with 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Alright guys, now comes the most exciting part, which is assembling the bag. So let's get started. First, we're gonna draw 2 inches squares at the bottom right here. This will create that boxy look at the bottom of the bag. Place the front and back exterior pieces right side together. Then I'm gonna take my sewing clips here to hold them together. You may also use sewing pins for this. Then you want to go ahead and sew the sides and the bottom as well with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. Now we're gonna work on the boxing the corners here. Now I'm gonna open this one up and nest the seams together. Then I'm gonna use my sewing clip here to hold them in place. Now we're gonna go ahead and sew this with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. Alright, once you've done sewing, just turn it inside out and make sure that everything is looking great. And I think it is. We're gonna work the same way for the lining, however you're gonna need to leave about 4 inches opening at the bottom here. Alright, so here's my lining piece already sewn together, and here is the opening at the bottom here. Now we're gonna just turn this one inside out. And then you want to take your exterior piece and turn that back wrong side out, just like so. Now insert the lining inside your exterior piece, and then you want to make sure that the front piece of the lining is touching the front piece of the exterior bag, and then also the back piece of the lining is touching the back piece of the exterior bag. Now you want to go ahead and pin this or use sewing clips. You want to start off from the side seams here, making sure that the seams are matched. Then you want to sew this with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. Now pull the lining out and find that little opening, and then you want to turn this back inside out through that opening. So just go slow and be very careful. Alright, so now I'm just gonna smoothen the edges here a little bit. I'm using my Hera marker, but you can also use your finger or coin or simply iron it. Then you want to top stitch this all around. And last, you want to take that opening hole and sew that close. And that's it guys, the bag is done. You can attach the adjustable strap, and when you wear that as a crossbody, it will automatically have that fold over look that is Pretty cute. And that is it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Leave me a comment down below if you have any question at all about this project. I would gladly answer you. Thumbs up if you like this tutorial, and I shall see you next time with another fun sewing project. Goodbye!